The big room was filled with humans and aliens. Shiny tables held small foods and drinks from both worlds. Ambassador Taiwan watched as his team mixed with the humans. Things were going well so far. Captain Hangil stood with a group of human soldiers. They were comparing their military badges and telling stories. Hangil was from a race known for being strong. His skin was thick and gray, like stone. He was a head taller than the tallest human. "So, you humans fight without power suits?" Hangil asked. He could not believe it. All modern armies used power suits to make soldiers stronger and faster. A human soldier named Kim smiled. "Yes, we train our bodies to be strong. No suits needed." Hangil laughed. "That is hard to believe. Your bodies look so soft." The other humans in the group looked at each other. One of them spoke up. "Maybe we could show you what humans can do." Hangil liked this idea. Yes, a friendly test of strength would be good. Ambassador Taiwan moved closer. He was worried. "Captain, remember we are guests here." "It is just for fun," Hangil said. "Nothing serious." The humans led everyone to a gym in the same building. Soon, Hangil and Soldier Kim stood in the middle of a circle. Both wore simple clothes now. The test was simple. They would hold heavy weights out with straight arms. The first one to drop their arms would lose. Hangil felt very sure he would win. His race could hold twice their body weight without trouble. The human looked strong, but he was still just a human. They both picked up the weights. They were not too heavy for Hangil. He smiled at the human. Kim smiled back. 1 minute passed. Then 5. Then 10. Hangil felt his arms begin to burn. He looked at the human. Kim was sweating, but he did not look worried. After 15 minutes, Hangil's arms were shaking. The weights felt 3 times heavier now. The human was breathing hard, his face red, but he kept the weights up. "How are you still holding?" Hangil asked between breaths. Kim's voice was tight. "I just tell myself, a little longer, just a little longer." At 20 minutes, Hangil's arms dropped. The weights hit the floor with a loud bang. He fell to his knees, breathing hard. The human held on for 10 more seconds, then carefully put his weights down. The room was quiet. Then the human started cheering and patting Kim on the back. Hangil looked up at the human. "Your muscles should have failed before mine. It is not possible." Kim helped Hangil up. "It's not about muscles only. It's about not giving up." Later, at the food tables, Engineer Su-min talked with a human woman named Lee. Su-min was green with 4 arms, perfect for her work fixing machines. "Do all humans keep going like that when their bodies hurt?" Su-min asked. Lee laughed. "Pretty much. We actually hurt ourselves on purpose sometimes." Su-min's eyes got big. "Why would you do that?" "We call it exercise. We lift heavy things, run long distances, all to make our bodies stronger," Lee explained. "It hurts while we do it, but we get stronger each time." Su-min looked shocked. "You cause pain to your own bodies to improve them. We have medicine for that." "It's not the same," Lee said. "There's something about pushing through the pain yourself. We have a saying, no pain, no gain." Su-min thought about this. Her people would never choose pain if they could avoid it. It made no sense. Across the room, Ambassador Taiwan watched all this with growing interest. He sent a message to Admiral Do Hyun. "These humans are strange. They seem to get stronger when things get harder. Most species give up. Humans push harder." Back on his ship, Admiral Do Hyun read the message. He had thought the humans were simple, not special. Now he wondered if he had been wrong. A species that got stronger from difficulty could be very useful or very dangerous. He decided to watch the humans more closely. A week after the battle, Medical Officer Young Mei walked through a human hospital. She had come to Earth to study how humans healed from their injuries. What she saw amazed her. A human pilot with burns on half his body refused sleep medicine. I need to stay awake, he told the nurses. My team needs my report on the voidborn weak spots. In another room, an engineer with a broken arm worked on a tablet computer with her good hand. She was designing better shields for Earth's ships. Young stopped beside a human doctor named Park. These people should be resting, she said. In our medical system, we put injured patients to sleep until they heal. Dr. Park smiled. We suggested that. They refused. But why? Yang Mei asked. Pain slows healing. Humans don't like to feel useless, Dr. Park explained. Being hurt is bad enough. Being unable to help is worse. Yang Mei wrote this down in her notes. Then she noticed something odd. That pilot has been awake for 3 days. How is that possible? Coffee, determination, and what we call a second wind, Dr. Park said. Second wind. It's when you feel completely tired, like you can't go on. But then you find new energy from somewhere deep inside. Park pointed to the pilot. He's on his 4th or 5th wind by now. Yang Mei shook her head. Your bodies should not work this way. At the same time, at Confederation headquarters, the Diplomatic Council met to discuss the humans. Council member Jin Ho showed videos of the battle against the Voidborn. As you can see, Jin Ho said, the humans used tactics no one has tried before. They drove ships directly into enemy weapons. They used nuclear bombs in new ways. An older council member spoke up. But they lost many ships and lives. It was not efficient. Efficiency is not their goal, Jin Ho replied. Victory is. They will accept any cost to protect their world. Jin Ho showed more pictures. We believe humans develop differently than us. We grew up with technology helping us. If something was hard, we built a machine to make it easier. He pointed to a picture of a human running a race. Humans had to solve problems with their bodies and minds. If something was hard, they trained themselves to do it anyway. The council talked for hours. Finally, Ambassador Taiwan stepped forward. I request the humans be changed from developing species to strategic military asset. There were gasps in the room. This was a big change. It would mean humans would be treated as partners, not just a young species to watch over. They are primitive, one council member said. Their bodies are inefficient, said another. But their minds, Taiwan said, their will to fight, their creativity under pressure. These things are more valuable than advanced technology. The council voted. By a small margin, they approved the change. Humans would now be considered important allies of the Confederation. Back on Earth, Admiral Du Hyun met with human leaders. They sat around a big table in a room with tall windows. The Confederation is impressed by your victory, Du Hyun said. But we are worried too. Worried about what? Asked President Lee. The Voidborn will return, Du Hyun said. Next time with more ships. They hate to lose. The human leaders looked at each other. Then President Lee spoke. We beat them once. We'll beat them again. You lost thousands of people, Du Hyun said. Many ships. Yes, President Lee agreed. And we mourn them all. But we will not hide in fear. Du Hyun was silent for a moment. Then he said, the Confederation wishes to learn from you. We want to send scientists, soldiers, and engineers to study how humans work. President Lee smiled. And we want to learn your technology. It seems we can help each other. Du Hyun looked out the window at the city below. Humans were already rebuilding what had been damaged in the battle. They worked day and night, pushing their bodies to the limit. There is a power in humans, Du Hyun thought, that we have never seen before. Not in weapons or machines, but in hearts and minds. For the first time, he was glad the Eternal Dawn had stayed to watch the battle. The Confederation had much to learn from these strange, determined beings. Admiral Du Hyun and his crew watched the screens. The small human ships looked like bugs next, the massive Voidborn destroyer. They have no chance, Sang-Yi said quietly. The Voidborn ship fired its first weapon. A beam of bright energy shot toward Earth. 3 small human ships flew into the beam's path. They exploded instantly, but the beam weakened and missed its target. They sacrificed those ships on purpose, Jisoo said in shock. The pilots knew they would die. Do-hyun leaned forward. Why would they do that? To save their city, Ambassador Ta-won said. Those pilots died to save millions of people they never met. The remaining human ships split into 5 groups. They attacked the Voidborn ship from different directions. The Voidborn weapons could not target all of them at once. Smart, Sang-hee said. They know they can't win with power, so they use tricks. Several human ships were hit and destroyed, but others got close to the Voidborn ship. Instead of turning away, these ships flew straight into the enemy vessel. Huge explosions followed each hit. They are using their ships as weapons, Do-hyun said. I have never seen such a tactic. On the radio, they could hear human commanders giving orders. They sounded calm, even as their ships were destroyed. Bravo team, hit their weapon ports. Delta team, aim for the engines. Echo team, protect the nuclear carriers. Nuclear carriers? Do-hyun asked. They are using nuclear weapons. Jae-soo checked her screen. Yes, but not in the usual way. They have put their nuclear bombs on remote-controlled ships. They are driving them inside the Voidborn ship before setting them off. After an hour of battle, the sky around Earth was filled with the wreckage of human ships. But the Voidborn destroyer was badly damaged. Smoke poured from holes in its hull. Its main weapons were silent. Then a single human voice came over the radio. This is President Lee of Earth. Voidborn Commander, you can still leave our system in peace. This is your last chance. The Voidborn Commander's angry voice answered. We do not retreat from primitives. We will destroy your world. The damaged Voidborn ship turned its last working weapon toward Earth's largest city. The weapon began to glow as it charged. No, Do-hyun shouted, even though no one could hear him. Just then, a small human ship that had been playing dead suddenly came to life. It flew straight into the Voidborn weapon port. A blinding flash followed. When the light faded, the Voidborn weapon was destroyed. The Voidborn ship tried to move away, but its engines were damaged. 3 more human ships, carrying powerful bombs, hit it at the same time. The huge Voidborn destroyer broke apart in a series of explosions. The bridge of the asterisk Eternal Dawn asterisk was completely silent. No one could believe what they had just seen. They won, Sang-hee whispered. But how? Do-hyun sat back in his chair. Get me a full recording of the battle. I want every detail analyzed. Admiral, Jisoo said, Earth forces lost 70% of their ships. Thousands of humans died. And yet they kept fighting, Do-hyun said. Any other species would have surrendered after losing 10% of their forces. Ambassador Ta-won nodded. When I asked a human officer why they didn't surrender, he said simply, we don't do that here. Do-hyun looked at the broken remains of the Voidborn ship on the screen. The Confederation has fought the Voidborn for centuries. We win some battles, lose others. But I have never seen anyone fight like this. What was different? Sang-hee asked. Do-hyun thought for a moment. Everything we do is based on logic. If we are outmatched, we retreat to fight another day. It is the smart choice. He pointed to the screen showing the celebrating humans. They did not make the smart choice. They made the brave choice. Sir, Jisoo said, humans have a saying I learned during my research. Where there's a will, there's a way. Do-hyun nodded slowly. I think we need to learn more about this human will. It seems more powerful than any weapon I have ever seen. 3 months passed. Earth and the Galactic Confederation became friends. Humans learned about space travel and alien technology. Aliens learned about human culture and history. Admiral Do-hyun sat on the bridge of the asterisk Eternal Dawn asterisk, reading reports about Earth. He was starting to like these strange humans. They asked many questions and were eager to learn. Suddenly, alarms rang throughout the ship. Admiral, called his officer Sang-He. A void-born ship has appeared near Earth's moon. Do-hyun stood up fast. The void-born were the oldest enemies of the Confederation. They were tall, gray beings with 4 eyes and sharp teeth. They took planets by force and used the people as slaves. "How big is the ship?" Do-hyun asked. "A destroyer class," Sang-He said. "Much bigger than our ship." Do-hyun felt cold fear. The Eternal Dawn was just a diplomatic vessel with small weapons. It could not fight a void-born destroyer. According to Confederation rules, they should leave right away to save their ship and crew. "Send a message to Earth," Do-hyun ordered. "Tell them we must take our people and leave. The void-born are too strong." Minutes later, the human leader appeared on the screen. He was an older man named Jun from something called the United Nations Security Council. "Admiral Do-hyun," Jun said, "we got your message. Thank you for the warning." "We will take our people and leave," Do-hyun said. "I am sorry we cannot help. The void-born ship is too powerful." Jun looked confused. "Leave? Why would you leave?" "Our ship cannot fight their ship," Do-hyun explained. "It would be suicide." Jun smiled. "I understand. Take your people if you must. But we will stay and fight." Do-hyun could not believe his ears. "Fight? You cannot win. Your weapons are too simple. The Voidborn will destroy your cities." "Maybe," Jun said calmly. "But humans don't run from bullies. Never have. Never will." The screen went dark. Do-hyun stood in shock. "Admiral," said Ji-soo, his science officer. "The humans are moving their ships. They are preparing to fight." "They will all die," Do-hyun said quietly. "Sir," Sang-He called, "you should hear this. The humans are broadcasting on all channels." Do-hyun listened. Through the ship's speakers came the sound of music and singing. It was humans singing songs about battle and freedom. "They are singing?" Do-hyun asked. "Now, it appears to be a human tradition," Ji-soo said. "They sing before battle to give themselves courage." Do-hyun sat down heavily. "They know they cannot win. Why fight a battle you cannot win?" The bridge was quiet for a moment. Then Ambassador Ta-won, who had returned to the ship, spoke up. "Sir, in the 3 months I spent with humans, I learned something important about them. They do not accept what seems impossible to us." On the big screen, they watched as small Earth ships moved toward the massive Voidborn destroyer. The human ships looked like toys next to it. The Voidborn ship sent a message to Earth. The harsh voice of the Voidborn commander filled the bridge. "Primitive species," it said. "Your planet is now ours. Surrender and some of you may live as our workers. Fight, and you all die." For a long moment, there was no answer. Then a clear human voice responded. "This is Captain Park of Earth Defense Force. We have a message for you." There was a pause. "Earth is not yours." Do-hyun and his crew watched in amazement as the tiny human ships flew toward the Voidborn destroyer. They did not run. They did not hide. "Sir," Sang-He said, her voice filled with wonder, "the humans are attacking." Do-hyun could not look away from the screen. In all his years in space, he had never seen anything like this. A primitive species with simple weapons was challenging one of the most feared forces in the galaxy. "Should we leave, Admiral?" Ji-soo asked. After a long moment, Do-hyun shook his head. "No, we stay and watch. I need to see what these humans will do." 1 month later, Admiral Do-hyun stood before the Confederation Council. The large round room was filled with leaders from 26 different alien races. They all looked worried. "The reports are confirmed," Do-hyun said. "The Voidborn are sending 12 destroyer ships to Earth. They will arrive in 6 weeks." The room filled with nervous whispers. 1 destroyer had nearly destroyed Earth. 12 would easily crush the planet. "We should withdraw our people from Earth," said one council member. "The humans fought bravely, but they cannot win this fight." Many heads nodded in agreement. Then Admiral Du-hyun spoke again. 6 months ago, I would have agreed. I thought humans were simple beings with simple technology. I was wrong. He showed pictures of new human ships. They looked different from before. They had some Confederation technology now. Humans learn faster than any species I have ever seen, Du-hyun said. They take our ideas and make them better. They work day and night, pushing themselves beyond what should be possible. Another council member spoke. Even so, 12 destroyers are too many. We would be risking our own ships and people for a battle that cannot be won. Admiral Du-hyun stood tall. The Voidborn attacked Earth because they found it. But they will attack other worlds next. If we don't stop them at Earth, we will fight them somewhere else later. The council talked for hours. Some wanted to help Earth. Others wanted to save their ships and wait. Finally, Human Representative June asked to speak. The council was surprised but allowed it. June was a small man with gray hair, but his voice was strong. We thank the Confederation for your concern. But know this, with or without your help, we will fight. You cannot win alone, said a council member. Perhaps not, June agreed. But we will fight anyway. That is what humans do. He looked around the room. You measure power by your technology, by the size of your ships and the strength of your weapons. We respect that. But humans measure power differently. How do humans measure power? Someone asked. By determination, Jun said simply. By our will to continue when others would quit. By our ability to face impossible odds and still find a way. He stepped forward. Fight alongside us, and you'll see what's possible when faced with impossible odds. Or don't. Either way, we will meet the Voidborn with everything we have. The room was quiet. Then Admiral Du-hyun spoke. I will lead any ships the Council sends to help Earth. After more talk, the Council voted. They would send 10 ships to help defend Earth. It was not many against 12 Voidborn destroyers, but it was something. After the meeting, Admiral Du-hyun met with June. I wish we could send more ships, he said. June smiled. Quality matters more than quantity. And we have been busy too. What do you mean? Come to Earth and see, Jun said. 2 weeks later, Admiral Du-hyun stood on a platform overlooking the huge human factory. Below, thousands of people worked building new ships and weapons. How long do they work each day? Du-hyun asked. Most work 12 hours. Some work 16, said General Min, who stood beside him. Many sleep here so they don't waste time traveling home. But they need rest, Du-hyun said. They'll rest after we win, General Min replied. Or we'll all rest forever if we lose. Do-hyun watched as a young woman worked fast, connecting wires in a new weapon. Her fingers were bleeding, but she didn't stop. I studied your history, Du-hyun said. Humans have always been like this, haven't they? When the threat is great enough, you find strength no one expects. General Min nodded. It's who we are. When things get bad, we get better. Do-hyun thought about the coming battle. The Confederation ships would fight by the book, following proven tactics. But the humans, they would do whatever it took to win. For the first time, he felt real hope. Perhaps 12 Voidborn destroyers were not enough to defeat human determination after all. The day of battle arrived. Admiral Du-hyun stood on the bridge of the Eternal Dawn now upgraded with new weapons. Around his ship, 9 other Confederation vessels waited. Nearby, 50 human ships formed a protective line in front of Earth. The Voidborn fleet will exit light speed in 5 minutes, said Sang-hee, watching her screen. Do-hyun turned to his communications officer. Open a channel to General Min. The human general appeared on the screen. He looked calm despite the coming danger. Are your forces ready, General? Do-hyun asked. As ready as we'll ever be, Min replied. Remember the plan. We don't need to win the whole battle at once. We just need to win the next minute, then the minute after that. Do-hyun nodded. This was a very human way of thinking. Don't look at the whole impossible task. Break it into small possible parts. Voidborn ships arriving now. Sang, he called out. The space in front of them seemed to stretch, and then 12 huge Voidborn destroyers appeared. They were black with red lights and looked like giant insects made of metal. They're even bigger than I expected, Jisoo said quietly. The lead Voidborn ship sent a message. Primitive humans and their Confederation pets. Surrender now or be destroyed. You have 1 minute to decide. General Min's voice answered immediately. We don't need a minute. The answer is no. The battle began with a flash of weapons fire from all ships. The Voidborn destroyers were powerful, but they expected an easy fight. They were surprised by the fierce attack from the smaller ships. 2 hours into the battle, 3 Confederation ships had been destroyed. Many human ships were damaged or lost, but they had managed to disable 2 Voidborn destroyers. It was not enough. Admiral, we've lost contact with Earth Command, Jisoo reported. Their communications center must have been hit. Should we take command of all forces? Sang, he asked. Do-hyun watched the battle screen. To his surprise, the human ships continued fighting in smart formations, even without central command. No, he said. The human captains know what to do. They don't need constant orders. This was different from Confederation ships, which needed clear commands at all times. Human captains could think for themselves and adapt to changing situations. The battle grew worse. The Eternal Dawn shook as enemy weapons hit it. Systems failed throughout the ship. We can't take much more. Admiral, Sang, he warned. Just then, Engineer Sumin called from the engine room. She was working with a team of humans to keep the ship running. Sir, the humans are doing something strange with our engines, she said. They're bypassing safety systems to get more power. Is that safe? Do-hyun asked. Not at all, Sumin replied. But one human engineer said, we don't need the ship to last forever. We just need it to last long enough. Do-hyun smiled despite the danger. That was human thinking again. Not the best solution, but the one that worked right now. 5 hours into the battle, 6 Confederation ships were gone. Most human ships were damaged, but amazingly, 5 Voidborn destroyers had been disabled or destroyed. The battle that should have been over quickly was still going. How are they still fighting? Sang, he asked, looking at the human ships with smoking hulls and damaged weapons that kept firing. Because they refuse to lose, Do-hyun said. They'll fight until their ships fall apart around them. Then something unexpected happened. New ships appeared from behind Earth's moon. Smaller, faster ships that had been hidden there. Admiral, Jisoo said with excitement, the humans held back a reserve force. These fresh ships attacked the surprised Voidborn destroyers from behind. At the same time, the damaged human and Confederation ships pushed forward with renewed energy. The tide of battle began to turn, not through better technology or more ships, but through clever planning and sheer determination. As his damaged ship fired its weapons once more, Admiral Do-hyun finally understood what the humans had been saying all along. Power wasn't just in the strength of your weapons or the size of your fleet. True power was in the will to continue fighting when all logic said you should surrender. And in that kind of power, humans had no equal. Admiral Do-hyun sat in his large chair on the bridge of the Eternal Dawn. He looked at the stars on the big screen in front of him. His ship was the pride of the Galactic Confederation, a group of many alien races who had joined together thousands of years ago. Admiral, we have found a new planet with life, said Jisoo, his science officer. She stood tall with her blue skin glowing under the ship's lights. The beings call themselves humans. They live on a planet called Earth. Do-hyun nodded but did not look very interested. The Confederation found new races all the time. What makes these humans special? He asked. Jisoo touched her screen and showed him pictures of Earth. They have reached space much sooner than they should have. Their technology is still very simple, but they have strong will. They keep trying even when they fail. Do-hyun raised an eyebrow. That is not very special. All races want to reach the stars. Yes, but these humans do more with less, Jisoo said. They have strange bodies too. They can run for hours without stopping. They can live in very hot or very cold places. They heal quickly from injuries. Interesting, but not impressive, Do-hyun said. He had seen many races with different skills. Send Ambassador Taiwan to meet them. Standard first contact rules. Jisoo looked worried. Admiral, there is something else. When we study their history, we found they fight many wars. They kill each other over land, religion, and resources. Do-hyun frowned. Primitive behavior. They will learn better ways when they join us. 3 weeks later, Ambassador Taiwan prepared his team for their first meeting with humans. They would land in a place called South Korea on Earth. The humans had many countries, which seemed inefficient to Taiwan. Remember, these beings are new to space travel, Taiwan told his team. Be patient with them. Show them our technology, but not too much. We don't want to scare them. Captain Hangil, the military officer, checked his weapons. Are they dangerous? All unknown species are potentially dangerous, Taiwan said. But our reports say they are curious and friendly. Just be careful. Engineer Su-min looked excited. I want to see their machines. If they reached space with such simple tools, they must be very creative. The ship landed on a flat area near tall buildings. Humans in official clothes waited for them. They looked strange to the aliens. No scales, fur, or bright colors, just pale or brown skin and hair only on their heads. Taiwan was the first to step out. The air felt heavy and wet. A human stepped forward, a male with gray hair. Welcome to Earth, the human said. I am Director Kim of the International Space Agency. We are honored to meet beings from another world. Taiwan bowed slightly, copying what he had seen in human videos. Thank you for your welcome. I am Ambassador Taiwan of the Galactic Confederation. We bring greetings from 26 different species who live together in peace. Director Kim smiled. 26 species. We have much to learn from you. As they walked toward a building for their official meeting, Taiwan noticed something odd. Many humans were staring at them, but not with fear. They looked excited, curious, even happy. Most new species were afraid when they met aliens for the first time. Your people seem very calm about meeting aliens, Taiwan said. Director Kim laughed. We have been imagining meeting aliens for hundreds of years. We have many stories and movies about it. Some good, some bad. But we have always looked to the stars and wondered if we were alone. Taiwan felt a strange feeling. These humans were different somehow. They had been ready for this moment long before they had the technology for it. In his ear, Jisoo's voice came through his translator. Ambassador, we are detecting unusual brain activity in the humans. They are producing high levels of chemicals associated with excitement and joy, not fear or stress. Noted, Taiwan whispered. As they entered the building, he thought to himself that this might not be a standard first contact after all. These humans were simple, yes, but there was something in their eyes, a hunger for the stars that he had not seen in a long time. 1 year after the defeat of the Voidborn fleet, Admiral Do-hyun stood before the Confederation Council once more. This time, he was not asking for help. He was giving a report on what had happened and what they had learned. The Grand Hall was completely full. Representatives from all 26 Confederation species wanted to hear about the battle that had changed how they saw power in the universe. The final count, Do-hyun said, was 12 Voidborn destroyers destroyed. We lost 7 Confederation ships and 38 human vessels. The cost was high, but the victory was complete. A council member asked, how did they do it? The humans had weaker ships and simpler weapons. Do-hyun smiled. That is the question I have spent a year trying to answer. He showed pictures from the battle. Damaged human ships still fighting. Engineers working in smoke-filled rooms to keep engines running. Captains making smart decisions without orders from above. We have always believed that advanced technology is the most important thing in space battle, Du Hyun said. The humans showed us we were wrong. He turned to face the full council. Humans evolved differently than us. When we faced problems, we built machines to solve them. When humans faced problems, they adapted themselves to overcome them. Do Hyun pointed to his head and then his heart. What makes humans special is not their technology, but what is inside them. They call it spirit or will or determination. It is the ability to continue when logic says to stop. The council listened quietly. This was a new way of thinking for them. I propose, Du Hyun said, that we create the Human Principles Academy. Here, Confederation officers will learn from humans. They will learn to think creatively, to push beyond normal limits, and to keep fighting when things seem hopeless. The council voted on the idea. For the first time in many years, they all agreed. The academy would be built. After the meeting, Du Hyun sent a message to Ambassador Taiwan, who now lived permanently on Earth. It was a human saying he had learned. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. Taiwan understood immediately. Humans have been shaped by their hard life on Earth. The struggles that should have made them weak had instead made them incredibly strong. Later that night, Admiral Du Hyun stood on the observation deck of his new ship, the Endurance *. It was the first ship built together by humans and the Confederation. It had the best technology from space and the best thinking from Earth. Do Hyun looked at the stars and thought about everything he had learned in the past 2 years. When he first met humans, he thought they were simple beings who would be easy to understand. Now he knew better. Humans were a puzzle. Their bodies were not very strong. They needed constant food and water. They had to sleep every day. By all measures, they should have died out long ago. Yet they had survived and grown stronger because of one simple thing. They did not accept limitations. When told something was impossible, humans took it as a challenge, not a fact. When facing certain defeat, they looked for any small chance of victory. When their bodies said stop, their minds said, keep going. The Voidborn had not attacked any Confederation worlds since their defeat at Earth. The news of their failure had spread throughout the galaxy. The message was clear. Earth was protected not just by ships and weapons, but by the most determined species in known space. As his ship prepared to jump to light speed, Du Hyun thought about the future. The Confederation had ruled the stars through advanced technology for thousands of years. Now, with humans as allies, they were learning about a different kind of advancement. Not just better machines, but better thinking. Not just stronger weapons, but stronger will. The stars streaked past as the ship jumped to light speed. Du Hyun smiled. The universe was about to discover what the Voidborn had learned the hard way. Never underestimate humans, for they redefine what is possible through sheer determination. When we thought we knew power, humanity showed us we had much to learn. 6 months after the battle with the Voidborn, Earth was busy with visitors from the stars. Hundreds of Confederation scientists, engineers, and soldiers came to learn from humans. Admiral Du Hyun himself stayed to watch the program. Engineer Su-min joined a team of human engineers working on a space station. The station had been damaged in the fight with the Voidborn. Su-min had 4 green arms and could work faster than humans, but she was still amazed by them. One day, the life support system on the station began to fail. The air was getting thin. The temperature was dropping fast. "We need to leave," Su-min said. "We can come back when it's fixed." The human engineer leader, Jun, shook his head. "No time. If we leave now, the whole station will freeze and break. We need to fix it now." "But we can't breathe well up here," Su-min said. "And it's getting very cold." Jun handed her an oxygen mask. "Masks for the air. And the cold. Well, we can be cold for a while. It won't kill us." "It is very uncomfortable," Su-min said. Jun smiled. "Discomfort is temporary. Failure is forever. Let's work." For 6 hours, they worked in the cold. Su Min's fingers turned stiff. The human's lips turned blue. But no one stopped working. Finally, they fixed the system. Warm air began to flow again. Later, safe on Earth, Su Min asked Jun, "How did you keep going in that cold?" "I focused on the task, not the cold," Jun said. "The body feels pain, but the mind can choose to ignore it." Su Min thought about this. Her people would never choose to be uncomfortable if they could avoid it. But humans seemed to accept discomfort as part of life. At the same time, military trainer Sang He was watching human soldiers train. She was tall with red skin and sharp eyes. She had been a soldier for 200 years. But human training methods shocked her. The human soldiers ran long distances carrying heavy packs. They trained with little food and water. Sometimes they trained without sleep for days. Sang He spoke to the human commander, "General Min, why do you make training so hard? Your soldiers would learn better if they were rested and comfortable." General Min looked at her with surprise. "War is not comfortable. We train hard so that real battle feels easier, not harder." "But your soldiers might get hurt in training," Sang He said. "Better to bleed in training than die in battle," General Min replied. "We push them to their limits here so they know they can survive when things get bad out there." Sang He watched as a group of tired, dirty soldiers helped each other over a tall wall. They were all exhausted, but they still found strength to help their friends. "They should have failed by now," Sang He said. "Their bodies must be at their limits." "The body might be ready to quit," General Min said, "but the human spirit rarely is." That evening, Admiral Du Hyun met with Ambassador Taiwan to discuss what they had learned. "The more I watch humans," Du Hyun said, "the less I understand them. They choose the hard path when an easy one exists." Taiwan nodded. "They believe the hard path makes them stronger. And from what I've seen, they may be right. Their technology is still simple compared to ours," Du Hyun said, "but they are learning fast, and they are teaching our people things we never considered." "Like what?" Taiwan asked. "Like how to continue when all seems lost, how to ignore pain and keep going." Du Hyun looked out the window at the city lights. Most races in the Confederation would surrender if things got too hard. Humans simply try harder. "Do you think they can share this quality?" Taiwan asked. "Can our people learn to be more like humans?" Do Hyun was quiet for a moment. "I hope so, because we may need this human spirit very soon." "What do you mean?" Taiwan asked. Do Hyun's face was serious. "Our spies report that the Voidborn are angry about losing their ship. They are preparing a whole fleet to attack Earth." Taiwan looked worried. "Even humans cannot fight a whole fleet." "Perhaps not," Du Hyun said, "but I would not bet against them. They have surprised us before."